What's up, guys? Jeff from California Carb Worx. This is our new Facebook group. This one is going to be just about carburation. Our main pages are California Motor Works and Texas Motor Works. Those are more general stuff for all the vintage and Harley and all the other bike stuff we do. This page is going to be all about carburation. I'm going to talk a little bit about a couple of projects we have going on here today, but basically what we're going to do is going forward, we'll have all the carburetor stuff on here with the specific model of bike. We work on everything. I wish there was a way to migrate over some of the carb videos for all the other bikes that we've done, but I've been involved in motorcycle carburation for over 40 years. Know a lot about it. This group is not only going to help our sales if you want to send us your carbs or have us do your carburetors, but also to help you if you're trying to do them on your own. There's a lot to know about doing motorcycle carbs, and basically these days any motorcycle carbs, you're going to be vintage motorcycle stuff. I think they stopped putting carbs in Japanese motorcycles right about 2006 maybe. So that's 20 years. It's vintage, right? Let's talk about what we got here today for you to look at. Some interesting bikes. One of them has the carbs out. One of them is going to get the carbs out. Oftentimes, guys, when you're doing these bikes, the hardest part is getting the carbs out. Once you get the carbs out, it's not really that hard of a process. It's just removing them and putting them back in. And if you don't do them right the first time, you're going to have to remove them and reinstall them a couple of times. So it's really important you get them right. But let's talk about what we got here right now. Let's take a look. Okay, so if you guys know vintage Japanese bikes, you'll know this gem. This is a 74 GT750 Suzuki. It's a 3-cylinder triple. This bike, it's funny, it was actually running and driving, and I don't know how, because it ran kind of weird to me. I thought, maybe just needs, I don't think it's going to need the carbs. But then when I opened up the fuel tank, the fuel was rust colored, which means it had a lot of rust in it. And that's what was causing it to run weird. So currently refinishing the inside of the fuel tank. We're going to use Caswells on it. And unfortunately, I had done the carbs once. And when the fuel tank, we use an IV bottle when we test them. I didn't realize that the IV bottle had been sitting out with the cap off. A little bit of debris got in that. Ran the carbs on the IV bottle, ran great for a second, then it clogged them up again. That's how sensitive they are. This is the pilot jet. That's the smallest orifice in the carburetor. Teeny, teeny, tiny. Doesn't take much to screw them up. So if you're doing your carbs on your own, most important thing I will tell you is make sure that your fuel source is clean and pristine. If you have any doubts about it, make sure you run an inline filter. I pretty much run inline filters now just as a default always, because like I said, it does not take much for them to get screwed up and clogged up. So these won't take much. I'm going to clean out the pilots. Number one way to tell if you've got carbs that are bad is A, it'll either not start, or B, it'll start and run on choke, but as soon as you shut the choke off, it dies. If that's the case, it just means your pilots are clogged up. Wonderful 2-stroke leaking oil. That's because it was running without one of the cylinders going. These things use quite a bit of oil, actually. So that's an interesting project. We'll have that back together today. This one is a 97 Kawasaki Ninja 600. And I think 97 was the last year for these. I didn't realize they made these this long. This is actually kind of the how do I say it? The grandfather was the Ninja 600 that came out in '86. It's basically the same bike. It's just very, very much refined compared to that bike, but same basic bike. But remember when I talked about getting them out is the tough part? Well, these will be, I can tell right now, these are going to be somewhat difficult to remove. That's why when we have our pricing, we have a couple of ways. If you're local, great, bring us the carbs, save you money. If not, you got to remove them and send them to us, and we can kind of guide you and help you as far as the removing them part. But it's, like I said, that's kind of the hardest part of any of the carburetor jobs is getting the carbs out. This one wasn't fun either. This one, the Voyager, that was quite difficult. I mean, that's pretty much all the toughest part of doing it. But anyway, think about what you want to do. If you need to contact us, just drop me a line in the comments or message us. If you're going to try and do it on your own, we'll help you out as much as we can. If you want to send them to us, we'll give you our address. We have locations in California and Texas. And if you are local to either one of our locations and you want to just bring it by and have us do everything, we've got 3 different packages. 1, you send them to us. 2, you bring the bike by, we remove them and do them and reinstall them. And 3 is everything. We remove them, do them, reinstall them, and then kind of go over the rest of the bike, make sure there's no other issues on that, make sure your fuel tank's clean, stuff like that. So anyway, stay tuned to this channel, guys. I know everybody on YouTube says, oh, would you like and subscribe to our channel? They say that because it helps. It really helps out. So if you want to like and subscribe, that's great. But we're going to be doing a lot of projects here. So stay tuned, my friends. Take care.